Go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Say play ball. All right, hi everybody. Thanks for coming on this beautiful day.
Isn't it nice?
It's beautiful. If we may just take a quick roll call, just to get everybody's names for visitors. If we could. And I'm sorry, well, we know who we are, but.
Gail D. Thomas.
Oh, hi Gail, thank you for coming.
Call me Dodd.
It's Molly. What was your last name?
Dodd.
D-O-D-D?
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
Debbie Bruno.
Oh, hey, Debbie, thank you. Wonderful. Okay, I'll start with a couple of quick announcements. They're the same that we generally have. This meeting is being recorded by the local city. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. Okay. There are several volunteer opportunities at the Council on Aging. If you are interested, I'm not going to list them all right now, but if you are interested in volunteering here at the COA, please get in touch with Holly and she can give you your opportunities, a list of opportunities that may work for you. The email for the advisory board, should you wish to get in touch with us, is coa-ab@kingstonma.gov. And that's also located on our website, on the Council on Aging's website. Is anyone here for open forum? Anyone here to talk during open forum?
Remind them that if they want to speak, it's gotta be during open forum.
Well, yes. If they want to speak about something that's not on the agenda, if it's on the agenda, they can speak during those times. And we may call it, I know two of you ladies have put in some interest, so we may call on you guys when we're ready to talk about that. Just ask you questions and things, okay? But not here for anything that's not on our agenda, no. Okay. I have an extra if you'd like one. Yes, I do. Well, here's a couple extras. We'll move on to the secretary report. We've all had a chance to review it. Does anyone have any questions with the report? It looks good to me. Thank you, Donna, for taking care of that. Nice thorough report. Anyone want to make a motion to accept it? All right, second. Want a second, Mary?
I second it.
Wonderful. All
My
in favor?
hands not awake yet.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, moving right along. Age and Dementia Working Group. I know there has been a lot of activity this past month. And I'd love an update. I know Kathy attended on the board's behalf. So this might be a combination, but I guess I'll start with Kathy as far as getting an update from you, if you don't mind.
Okay, no, I don't mind at all. I'm quite excited about it. Our first meeting was Monday, May 5th at 1:30. Our group has decided to continue to meet the first Monday of the month at 1:30 unless we have a holiday on a Monday, then it will be adjusted to the holiday. Our first meeting was to meet and greet all invited and interested members of the community. We are so lucky to have such a diverse group of interested community participants, not only from Kingston, but also from other towns already working to make their communities age-friendly and willing to help us get up and going. Our group consists of members from the police department, the health department, town clerk, town planner, school department, recreation department, clergy, housing, selectmen, COA director, COA board member, and of course, members of other communities that are willing to help us with our goals. Joanne Zigmont, senior planner for Old Colony, and her assistant Jason conducted the meeting. We were reminded several times that this venture is not a sprint, but it is a marathon. There are 8 domains of livability that we will be looking at. We will be picking 2 or 3 of these domains to work on. With the help of others, we will form working groups to tackle 1 or 2 domains at a time. The 8 domains are housing, transportation, health services, communication, outdoor spaces, social inclusion, employment, and retail. For our next meeting, Joanne and her crew are going to put together questions in the form of a survey that we will take into consideration. This survey will be handed out to the Kingston community for their input on what is important to them as we all age in place. Their participation will help us pick the domains that are important to start working on. According to the US Census Bureau, by 2034, there'll be more people 65 years or older than there will be people under 18. There are more than 700 communities enrolled in the national network. More than 100 million people live in a community that is committed to being age-friendly. So that's what I learned from our meeting, and it's very exciting, and I hope, because we actually are fostering that program, it was through us, I hope that we can all get together with help from outside of the COA to get our projects done. That's all I have to say.
That was great. Thank you for that.
Are there any questions that anybody
No,
have?
yes, I do.
Yes.
Now you're gonna have groups of what, 8, like? How is that?
It depends on what comes out of the next meeting and our survey. The survey probably won't be compiled and looked at until maybe October. By the time we get it published.
The results of this one.
Yes, Holly will get into that, but we will not do the 8 domains of livability at the same time. We will not.
Mhm.
We will need people, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of the domains, we will need people for each one. Does that answer your question?
I was just wondering how you were gonna put the groups together.
Yeah, depends on what comes out of the survey, what the town wants.
It sounded, from what I remember from prior presentations, it sounded like, you know, the implementation of the results and things will in turn take years too. Yeah, so they'll presumably maybe focus on some of the ones that are the most highly talked about in the surveys.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I guess maybe, I'm thinking that's what they focus on first and then, Oh, for sure.
Some of them
sure.
overlap.
Yeah.
Like housing and transportation, they overlap.
Oh, yeah.
So you may be using housing as one of your livabilities, but you may end up getting somehow into transportation. How do we get these people back and forth? Yeah, it's just very interesting. And everybody that's on the committee at this moment are very vested. They've all had experience one way or another with this program. So, or not this program, but in their personal life.
Mhm.
So they're really into it.
Helen, would you like to add anything first?
No, Kathy and I talked ahead of time to see what we were gonna share. I provided with my director's report a copy just of the meeting notes that I took.
Great, thank you.
Of the meeting day, which again breaks down the committee, the working group members. Which is a great sampling. It was a really great way that Joanne gave a great overall picture of what the process and what the project was really all about, because I think a lot of people were coming in not knowing exactly what to expect. And I think it eased their worries a little bit about how do I fit into this. So it's a long process. The next meeting will start compiling the survey that will get then sent out into the community in various ways. Through print, through email, through a QR code, through hand delivered. There's gonna be many different methods that people can utilize to respond. And it's funny that they said, that Jason said that the average response rate is 2 to 5%. So
Of the
you
people
could
it
mail
gets to,
out, 10,000 surveys and really you should only expect back great enough, but
Yeah, I
too
was-
much. So it's a
Right.
very small sampling, and so we know that going in that you're only gonna get a certain.
I know Duxbury mailed out 2,400 and they only got back 1,236.
But they
Oh,
said
that's-
that, they were like the huge
I was
outliers,
gonna say
like that's
a huge,
not typical, yeah.
50% is huge.
Yes.
That's not typical. And Plymouth has been into this almost 12 years. Duxbury's,
12 years.
yeah, that in their stuff, they started. But really became formal about 5 years ago. But they started talking about it 12 years ago. And Duxbury's into it almost 3 years now.
And so once the surveys come back and and based on those results, that's where you identify the between 2 and 4 areas that are really the priority and what you want to focus on. And then even within OCPC, they have sort of specialists or experts in those
Those
individual domains that Joanne will bring in to help too. Jason, for instance, was a specialist for transportation, so they offer support for that as well amongst the members of our groups who will be identified to work on those plans. And so again, it really just provides a framework, sort of a blueprint of what the ideal community looks like for us, for age, to being age friendly, and the town can adopt as much of that as they want to. We're not tied to it, nobody's telling us we have to do it, but
Sure.
it's just, a good thing, and this is what it would look like if we were to be somewhere where people can raise a family and they can age
Their whole lives.
their whole
in the
lives,
town.
exactly, and be
Right.
supported, so. We talked about the fact that some of these things are low cost, some of them are free, you can implement certain things. For very minimal money, and some will cost some money, so that's gonna be up to the town, how they wanna implement it, when they wanna implement it. And how much
And if they can get funding for it
support
and all that.
it is.
But at least we'll have some
community.
data,
Yeah.
which will then be able to back up. If there's a funding need,
Exactly.
there'll be some data to support the funding need.
Exactly, but it shouldn't be scary to say, well, here's the report and it's this thick and this is, what really needs to be done. Well, no, it's, we take it chunk by chunk.
Yeah.
And some of the things, again, would be easy to implement and no cost or little cost, and some are bigger. So,
Great.
it was a great first meeting. The group really was interactive, asked some good questions, and I'm excited to see how it progresses.
Excuse me, there were so many members of the working group, and there were a couple that hadn't replied back. Have they?
No,
Since?
not yet, no.
Those couple.
Yeah, which didn't really seem to be a huge issue, but again, once our domains that we have decided that have been identified that we want to work on, if those people fall into those, I think we've said we can reach out, a little bit more aggressively to see if they can then participate in that, because one is, housing. So that might be something that we push a little bit harder to get them involved in.
Well, Kingston Housing Solutions were there.
Neighbor Works.
Neighbor
was,
Works,
yes. So we were still waiting to hear back from someone from the housing authority.
Great. Well, I'm excited. I mean, we've been talking about it internally for probably 2 years. I think the first presentation that we got from, it wasn't Joanne, it would have been BU. I think that was probably close to 2 years ago, that first presentation, and, that whole cycle of trying to get funding, so. It just speaks to how long, like you said, it's a marathon, not a race, so not a sprint.
Yeah.
So great,
We're moving nicely.
thank you for that. Anybody have any questions? Joan, do you have any questions?
No,
Okay.
but I think Kathy did a great job on her report. Very nice.
Summary. Yeah.
Thank you, Joan.
Back to Kathy. Kathy attended one of the Board of Selectmen meetings a few weeks ago. We had gone before the board, or the COA had gone before the board to finalize the adoption of the policies and procedures update. And I'm blanking on the second thing. There was 2, wasn't it?
The bylaws.
We went,
It was the
Bylaws.
hours of the.
Oh, the hours of
Hours.
the COA. Thank you.
yeah,
Okay.
and both were passed.
Okay, great.
Flying colors, no questions asked. They were very happy with the fact that we've matched. Donna and I were able to match our,
Everything, yeah,
Everything.
anything that, any overlapping
yeah,
paragraphs in those two documents now are identical.
yeah, you're exactly right. They were very pleased to have it done.
Great,
And the,
and they had no questions about the
not at all,
hours
they
or
were,
anything.
no,
Awesome.
no, and was working through if there's anything needing to do at nighttime.
But that
that's-
implementation took place right away, right?
Yeah.
Essentially,
Started to make it.
yeah, so we're a week and a half in, we've got a solid week, you got a solid week under.
We did, yeah. How is it working?
Fine. Wonderful. Awesome, okay. All right, moving right along, we have received 2 letters of interest from Gail and Debbie. And I think what I'd like to do, if we could, is, the letters, just indicate your interest, and your interest, both of you had put, let's see. Both of you had put interest in possibly an associate member position. I think Gail, you might have said either or, associate or potentially a board member position. For the benefit of everyone, it would be lovely to hear a little bit more about you guys. I don't know who wants to might come up first, but I'm just gonna ask you to come up mostly just so you can get closer to a speaker. So any of this seat or this seat, or maybe both of you come to the table, just so you're closer to the, maybe you can each take a seat at the table, just so we can get you on the microphone, that's all. Here, great, yeah, Gail, if you like, you can go here or
Right here.
here, it doesn't matter, whichever's. Can you see Joan?
Yep. Hi.
And this is for Joan's benefit, because she had mentioned last month, excuse me. Talking from the corner is really challenging to pick it up on the speakers. And then, of course, for the recording, we need anybody that's speaking to be on the speakers too. So I don't know who may want to go first. I mean, this is super casual. It's not like an interview. It's really just more of, tell us a little bit more about yourselves and that's it.
I've been coming here, I think about almost 3 years. I do run the book with for the last few years.
Okay.
Friday afternoons, once you started the games, I've been a part of that. I come to some of the special presentations. I moved to Carver. Right. But I'm more involved here.
Mhm.
I have a vested interest in this community. I like the people. It's a much more active senior, it's a whole different situation than Carver.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be part of it.
Right.
I heard, a rumor that I didn't like about the effectiveness of this board, and it kind of brought the hairs on the back of my neck up, and I want to be a part of it.
Okay. Great, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Gail?
You have a regular email address,
I do.
and is that the one on your letter?
Yep.
So you're good communicating by email or?
Email and text,
Okay.
yes.
Very good.
Gail has been very helpful too, where I haven't been able to be there Fridays. And she's helped take over the games for me.
I
And
just want to include people,
Mhm.
make everybody feel welcome, and have
Yeah,
something to do on a Friday afternoon instead of going home and being alone.
Thanks for a long weekend.
Well, thank you for your interest.
Joan, do you have any questions?
No, I'm just having a hard time hearing, what's going on. I'm just hopeful that anyone that applies, if they want to eventually be on the board itself, a voting person, it is important for them to be computer literate, at least be able to, send out messages and receive them. And of course, there's always, we're always going to be looking for someone to fill in on a position like for a secretary or for a assistant to Kathy, but not how Kathy's going to be leaving us. So there will be an election soon and there'll be some openings. So I'm hopeful that one or both of you could fill a position like that. And I want to thank you for sending the letters. I think it's wonderful that you have the interest.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Miss you, John.
Debbie, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Debbie Brown. I live at Town Country Estates in Kingston. I've been coming here for about a year and a half. I updated the senior.
You do a lot of that computer work.
Yeah.
Oh, good, yeah.
I work
The
with-
internal system. Yep.
I work with Holly. I'm working on the flyers right now. Putting them out at the front. I pretty much do anything and everything.
So you volunteer here a lot.
I do volunteer here a lot, yes. I make a joke of it that it was supposed to be a couple of hours a day, but because I love it here so much,
Home sweet home.
I am here like 4 days, whatever, that I do volunteer, so. I love the people. It's good fun, gets me out of the house, keeps me out of trouble. I was sure that Walmart must have had me on their computer system, that I was wandering around in their store so much that they were like, oh gosh, she's back again. So that's why I like coming here. And I save money by coming.
There you go. There you go.
And you're interested in being associate?
I would like that, yeah.
Just start with them.
I lived out at Oak Point in Middleborough. And I was on the committee for Middleborough for changing the wording of the pronouns. And I did that for all, but then my husband got sick, so I had to follow. But I don't know how things work, so that's why I just figured it would be easier to just sit and kind of watch.
Sure.
For a while.
Sure.
Deb, can you tell me how many seniors are in town? Now that you've cleaned up this is.
Oh, now you're really
Holly would
quizzing,
know
you're
that.
really quizzing her.
Well,
I'm
there's
just
a difference
curious.
between how many seniors are in town and how many seniors are active in our database.
Right.
So,
Sure.
in Kingston, you're 13,000, just over 13,000.
In town.
In in our database, active, we're at about 2,200, and by active, that's a loose term. We're-
Yeah.
They
They're
registered here at some
in our
point.
system and we have contact with them. That doesn't mean that they come here once before it. They're registered in our system. They receive outreach phone calls. They get notified of major town events and things like that. Some just receive the newsletter, some do come here, some, but we did a lot of work cleaning that out and updating names, phone numbers, contact information. It was a huge process. It took, well, she's very good with computers, so it didn't take her long, but it was.
Sure.
And that's the birthday list too? Part of that?
Yeah. Yes,
Project, yeah.
yes, updating all the birthdays, yeah.
And I also put we had tons of pictures. And they're all on the system, Holly, we did test it, it does work. I'm not done with that. But all of the pictures have been archived.
Okay, great. So ultimately, the Board of Selectmen makes the final decision. Our board does the first wave. The Board of Selectmen wants to hear from our board as far as whether there's a vote of support or not for each candidate. So we could take a vote today. I put it on the agenda, so we have the ability to take a vote today. Or we could wait until June. So the terms run, so whatever position you were going for, whether it was an actual board position or whether it was the associate position, the terms run. If we are able to get a full term, July 1st through June 30th. So if we were to vote today, it still wouldn't start technically until July 1st. And then or we could wait and do the vote in June next month and go from there. So does anyone have any thoughts on what they'd like to do?
No, I'd like to make a motion to vote.
Want to make a motion to vote? Sure. All right, so if I may just get a point of clarification from Gail. So my seat will be opening officially June 30th, July 1st, so there will be, and when I say my seat just on the board, not my seat as chairman, okay? So there will be an open seat for actual board position, and then of course, there's an open seat as an associate as well. So I know you both have an interest in associate. Would either of you want to go for an actual board position? Okay, so thank you for the clarification. I know you had mentioned both, either or, but since we'll be voting, I wanted to get that clarification today, right now as well. So Donna's gonna made a motion.
Motion to, we're gonna start with
We can
Gail
start with Gail, absolutely.
to make a vote.
So this would be a motion to, a motion to support Gail joining the board as a regular board member. Okay, anyone want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you.
So all in favor?
So Donna made the motion,
I
Kathy seconded. Do we have an all in favor? Or please tell me if you're in favor.
I am. I vote.
3, 4.
Joan?
Joan, are you in?
Yep.
So we've got 5. Joan, Donna, me, Lucy, Kathy, so that's
And
5.
Mary's not vote. Mary,
Okay.
you're
No,
not
that's fine.
voting, right?
Okay, so 5, 5, 5,
Five to one.
5 makes it. So we're in, Maureen's not here, but that's okay. So thank you for being willing to step up and to come join our board. So we welcome you next month as well. Just your voting ability won't officially start until July 1st. Well, that's assuming we get you.
Through the select.
I need to notify the Board of Selectmen that the board has supported you as a new member. And you'll get notified of when, it may be their next meeting, it won't be tonight. I don't know if they're tonight or next Tuesday, but we'll keep you posted on when the next Board of Selectmen meeting will be. This will actually go potentially for both of you, but the next step will be to have the Board of Selectmen confirm our board's decision. Okay, that's just the way it always is, unfortunately.
Katie, can we clarify, the yes vote and the no vote? We need to know the no votes.
I think Donna recorded that.
Oh,
6-1.
Yep, Donna's got it recorded.
okay. I was just thinking, because Maureen's not here to give her opinion, so.
We don't need her vote. On this, we have enough. We have enough to carry the vote. So it was 5-1, actually. Yeah. Okay, and then moving on to Deb. So, Debbie is interested in the associate position. So just to clarify for you, associate position, we do ask that you still attend all our meetings, and learn about it. And of course, get all the background and be here. You would be able to, as Lucy was in that position, she had a voice at the table. She was able to offer opinions and ask questions and things like that. But that position just doesn't officially have a vote associated with it, until you were if you were to actually be an official board member. Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to, Lucy will make a motion to vote for Deb, Bruno as associate,
And I second it.
and Mary's seconding that. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, very good. All right, well, Debbie, thank you very much for stepping up for the associate position. I appreciate that, ladies. Really do appreciate it. It's nice to have interest. It's nice to have different people's voices. And I appreciate your willingness to join.
Back to Gail, it was 6-1. We get Joan.
She was 5.
Fine, right? Yeah.
Maureen is not.
2, 3, 4, 5,
No.
6.
5,
Fine.
and Mary didn't vote. So it was 5-1.
Okay.
Okay. All right. There had been a request, so moving on. Anybody have any final questions or thoughts before we move on? There had been a request for me to add this to the agenda, kitchen beverage request changes. The person, Maureen, had asked that we put it on, and unfortunately she's not here, so I don't know the nature. Does anybody happen to know the nature of beverage request changes in the kitchen by chance?
She mentioned anything to you?
Huh?
Maureen, has she mentioned anything to you about?
Maureen had asked that we put, kitchen beverages, on the agenda.
She
but
didn't say
It's
anything.
perfectly
yeah.
fine. No, it's
She
okay.
didn't say nothing.
So we're gonna we'll just wait, because I don't know exactly what the nature of the request was, so we'll move, yeah. No problem. No, it's not your responsibility, Mary. I was just curious if you
Yeah,
happened to
no.
say something, and that's fine. All right,
No, she never said anything to me about it. so-
no, that's fine. No worries. I'm trying to remember if she actually told me.
What kind of beverages does she want?
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember if she actually told me that what the change request was, but I don't think it's an urgent request at this stage of the game, so maybe she can even come to you, separately. So, all right. I'm gonna do one last thing. I'm gonna go into old business, so even though it's not in the top under new business, we can still talk about it since it's an old business. Just wanted to bring up again, next month, will be the last month of all of the official term. Some people are continuing on, of course. My seat will be opening. We've got a filling, with Gail coming in. Lucy's old associate position is open, but every year, so even though our terms are 3-year terms, I may not have made that clear, that the associate position, I believe, is a 1-year term, but the board members are a 3-year term. Surprise. Even though the terms last for 3 years, the board positions have an opportunity to turn over annually. So the board positions are chairman, vice chair, and secretary. So these positions are not ominous. They're not, there's some legwork, there's some a little bit of behind the scenes stuff that needs to be done. You can see through Donna's reports, monthly reports, her minutes from the meetings. Being able to take notes and or listen to the recordings after the fact and fill in the notes, that's the biggest, heaviest lift of the secretary's position. Chairman, I know chairman scares a lot of people. Since I've been chair for the last 2 cycles, I've tried to make it clear that my position, the being chair means nothing more than being organized. The only thing that my position, I technically run the meetings, the chairperson technically runs the meetings. Any person in this room is capable, in my opinion, of running a meeting. It's just a matter of filling out the agenda. So as you guys know, I come to all of you, the week or so in advance and say, hey, does anybody have any thoughts? I mean, I'm the person that's in this building the least. So, I guess I want to just make sure that everyone understands it's not, there's no more responsibility beyond just being organized and being able to take everyone's requests, which is what I do on a regular basis, record them, put them in the form of an agenda, and then in turn, simply run the meetings. My vote has no more weight than anybody else's vote. I'm simply just another member of the board. So, I would ask that anyone, that's on the board, generally, we ask that new members coming in get some time under your belt before you become an actual position. So it's not exclusive. It doesn't definitively have to go that way, but we do ask that incoming people get some experience on the board first before they become a chair, a vice chair, or a secretary. So, the responsibility would fall primarily on the folks that are here, and with Maureen as well. So this is my, last real push to try to get everyone to consider, their willingness to take a position. We won't be voting today. We'll vote next month for those actual positions, okay? I know that there's some interest, Dawn has expressed interest in remaining secretary
And vice chair.
and vice chair potentially, so there can be some overlap. And you know, people can be nominated whether they want to be or not, but I would prefer that somebody actually want to step up versus being,
Can we ask? Is
yes,
anyone
please,
interested?
absolutely. Yeah, does anybody in the room have any
Don't
interest,
look at me, I'm not very organized.
any interest in being chair?
The same as Mary.
I'm not very organized at all.
Okay. Well,
Can one person be chair, vice chair, and secretary?
I think that it would be unfair, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be unfair to ask to burden one person exclusively for all of those positions. You know, being a member of the board does go beyond just simply showing up. You know, it's being here and voicing concerns and telling us, you know, bringing things to the table that are concerns for the greater community, the greater senior community. You guys are the ones that are in the building all the time. You guys are the ones that are here. You guys are the ones that things affect. So we need to hear from everybody, but the burden of driving the ship shouldn't fall exclusively or too heavily on one or two members. You know, it really, in my opinion, it really should be spread out. So,
So where can we pull that extra person in?
I'm gonna ask that people that are here really think about how they could fit in and where they think that they could step up the best. And we'll discuss it again in June. Okay, so June will be, the meeting in June, we will make nominations and then do the voting for positions. Okay. All right, it's my last plea. All right.
My plea is don't go.
Yeah, okay. Any questions? Yeah.
What, did you know?
Can we pull in from the outside someone to be a secretary without being an officer?
I don't think so based on our bylaws. I'd have to get some clarification, but my instinct is no.
What about the associate member? Would she be the secretary?
It's possible. No, that's actually a possibility.
Oh, I'm just looking at the associate.
As she went into the floor, but she's very computer literate, she.
Sure. Sure. So
That would be.
that could be a maybe. I want to get some clarification and that'll give me some time to get some clarification. I mean, being a secretary doesn't require a voting seat. So if there was an interest in being secretary, I suppose that could be a possibility. As an associate member.
Yeah, and especially, I know it says they would like you to have at least a year under your belt, but we're not at that point, so. Who knows, somebody else. I'm thinking Gail maybe would like to direct the meeting or be an associate, you know, chair or whatever.
So these can be things that you guys can think about if you may be interested. Without overly burdening you either. I mean, you know, you'll be officially starting July 1st, so.
Something to think about.
It is more to think about and
Then Donna can be chair and secretary,
Well,
or just chair.
she wants that advice, yeah.
well, somebody's gonna have to run the meetings. At the end of the day, somebody's gonna have to run the meetings. So whether, you know, whether there's an open seat or not. Somebody's gonna have to run the meetings. Like, I don't know if you, maybe Holly would run the meetings. I guess I'm not really sure if there was an opening. So that'll be some more food for thought behind. We'll have to figure that out. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. So.
That wasn't on the job description.
Other duties as assigned.
All right.
Oh,
Have we been here yet?
I'm gonna move on to Holly's director's report.
My director's report. So, I think you all had the opportunity to meet Stacy. Stacy Driscoll has started as our new assistant director of elder affairs. She started yesterday, was her
Oh,
first
good.
day. She will be taking over the production and distribution of the newsletter, overseeing volunteer programs, senior tax workout program, and much more. She spent most of yesterday just kind of meeting everyone in the center, getting their feet wet, but there's a lot of overlap between the people that she knows from other COAs and our COA. It's great that she's already immersed in the community, so
That's great.
we're excited to have her.
Thanks.
Congratulations on filling the spot.
Thank you, yes, it's been, what's that?
I said you can get the help that you need.
Yeah, well, that the center deserves, really, you know, for sure, because things fall through the cracks, and much like this position, when you're just talking, it's not really fair to put 3 positions on one person and
Absolutely.
expect that all 3 of those positions are going to flourish. It just doesn't work that way. So, anyway.
Molly, I think you're great. You handle
thank
everything with ease.
Thank you. Appreciate it. A couple of programs we have coming up on May 30th. We're gonna have a visit from the Plymouth County Comfort Dogs. The Triad program will be meeting back here. So that's members of the District Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Department, Police, Fire, Council on Aging. And so their first visit, they'll be bringing some of their 4-legged friends
That'll
with
be
them.
fun.
So that'll be fun. On June 5th, we're gonna have a summer kickoff party here at the center. And on June 12th, we'll be celebrating Father's Day. So signups for that will be coming up probably in the next week or so.
Who is sponsoring the summer kickoff party?
There's no sponsor, it's a COA event, but the friends will be, they're having, actually, they're paying for entertainment. We're having a band coming that day for an hour, and they have lined up, the ice cream truck
Very
to
good.
do desserts for everyone.
These are the 2 Thursdays, right?
Correct. And then I just realized that the 3rd Thursday of the month is a holiday, Juneteenth. Oh, jeez. Yes, so center will be closed on that day. Okay.
The 19th.
Yes,
Yes.
June 19th. We talked about the age and dementia friendly working group meeting. Kathy gave a great recap of that. Our next meeting is on June 2nd, I want to say. The first Monday of every month is when we're meeting here. And if anyone from the public is watching this and has an interest in it, certainly feel free to reach out and we can figure out a way for them to get involved in the working group. I just wanted to provide a quick update on the cafe. 311 meals were served in the month of April in the cafe, which is great. And back in August of 24, we were awarded a grant in the amount of $5,800 from the Maine Council on Aging's Chef Grant Program, which is sponsored by Hannaford supermarket group. A portion of that grant money was used to purchase new equipment for the cafe, including dishes, small and large plates, flatware, a flatware organizer, some chef's knives, and new pans and storage containers off the cafe. So those were all used last week for our large Mother's Day event.
Well, appreciate it.
Well
Are you so
appreciated
good?
and deserved, and we'll get some goodies out of those. That was exciting getting to unbox all that and wash on the side.
Good question.
Yes.
So is the ice machine gonna be fixed or replaced?
The ice machine is going to be fixed.
Okay.
It's a matter of getting it on serviced. It has not been on a service program to be
Okay.
cleaned and serviced. So I'm working on getting that on service as well as the refrigerator and the freezer, which is a couple months ago. So, the ice machine uses an incredible amount of water because it's running all the time. So it needs to be cleaned as such.
You didn't realize 2 hour water,
And our water bill.
Yeah. but it also stains up. the
Oh,
water.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
And
yeah, so it's in process. We do have ice cube trays in the cafeteria for people that want ice, but I do realize that it's been down for a couple of weeks and I'm working on it.
All right then.
Excuse me, Holly.
Yes.
You have 311 meals, so if off the top of your head, last April, the past year. Do you,
I don't know. I do have the numbers in the computer. I would say about the same, similar, yeah.
I was gonna say, anything with a 3 in front of it, I think is a pretty decent, Decent amount, for sure.
Yeah, I would say, that's actually something that Deb was helping me with, month over month. It stays pretty consistent where it's, wintertime drops. That's just our slow season because people aren't coming out as much,
Just
but
because I happen to have the notes, I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. Last April, 247 were served, so the meals are up for sure.
247, so
Yeah.
that may have been. When we may have been only doing 3 days a week at that point,
Mhm.
because I think we changed to 4 days in July.
Yeah, so that could have made
account
up the
for it
difference,
as well.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it wasn't Fridays originally,
right.
right?
So
Yeah.
it's six.
I imagine there's a lot on Friday. Friday's probably a big day.
Friday,
Friday, cards and games and all that stuff.
Line dancing.
Oh, Friday's gotta be a big day, I would think.
Exercise programs, we have cards, with the group of ladies that come to play games. Neighbors are here. We have Franklin speaking, the first Friday of
I
every
think that
month.
was a great move.
Fridays are.
And people appreciate it, they really do.
Yeah, that's right. We have fun on Fridays. It's like a.
But I must say, even the cafe itself, people really are getting used to it.
Yes.
And they love, you know.
They're forming groups and meeting for breakfast, which is nice.
Yes.
And different people, we're getting, you know, new people being also.
And people that come just for lunch or just for breakfast.
Yeah.
And it's a really great food delivery method for people that, like, low cost, like super low cost and reliable.
Which is appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still interviewing van drivers for our transportation program, so it's process, but we're getting there. And I'm super appreciative of our one remaining van driver who's working double hours and putting in the work and doing it with a smile, so.
Are there 2 open positions or 1 open
There's
position?
actually 3 open positions. Yeah.
Was one appointed? At the last meeting?
Yes. Yes, there's a delay with that, so-
Training
yeah, it's,
background.
there's a whole onboarding
Process.
process, because the transportation system is funded through GATRA, we have to follow GATRA regulations, so there's town stuff that they have to do, and there's GATRA stuff that they have to do, and some of that stuff overlaps and a lot,
Okay.
so.
Getting there. All right. That's great. Anybody have any questions for Holly? No? Okay. Thank you, Holly. All right. Well, we have reached the end of our agenda.
Anything for you, from you?
No report for me. Sorry, did not have anything as a report this month.
Anybody?
Anybody remember? Yeah, that's a good question. Anybody know of anybody that has passed this past month?
Carol Caruso, is one of our volunteers.
Okay, sorry to hear that. Will you, a quick moment of silence for Carol? Okay, thank you. Anybody?
She went to the bathroom, I think.
Oh, that could be.
She's having a very hard time walking. I was gonna pick her up this morning and bring her. But when I called her last night, she said, Mary, I'm gonna go on Zoom. She's having
She's
a
got a
difficult
confused
time.
face.
I got a message saying that.
Oh, we can hear her.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
She maybe has something to do.
Oh, that's okay. All right, great. Before we adjourn, does anyone have any questions, last minute thoughts?
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, she's on the phone. Okay. All right, well, we are at 12:20, and with no further ado, I'll officially adjourn our meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I second it.
all right, thank you. All in favor to adjourn? All right. Adjourn.
So wouldn't we have any more money?
Thanks, everybody.